There are 3 times in history when LEGO could have collapsed, and the Z generation would never know it existed before, and we should learn from LEGO's mistakes. Throughout the company's history, LEGO's management was never ready for any external impact, whether it was something known, such as a patent expiration date, or a completely unpredicted natural cause. LEGO was founded by Ole Kirk Christensen in 1932, when his wife suddenly died, and he had to take care of 4 sons during the Great Depression. You see, at first, LEGO was all about wooden toys because Christensen was a carpenter. He used to work mainly with wood, and his factory was on fire 3 times. All 3 times were accidents, yet I believe he could have learned to store his materials, paperwork, and orders in 3 different places by the 2nd accident already. Yet, Ole Christensen had to pick up his work from the very beginning and start all over again, at least 2 times, because he wasn't around for the last one. Okay, such things like accidental fire are almost impossible to predict. But here's another example, and a fatal mistake. Ole's son Gottfried took over the company and patented iconic LEGO brick in 1958, the year Ole Kirk Christensen died at the age of 66. And when this patent expired over 30 years later, competitors instantly began to force LEGO out of the market, flooding store shelves with cheaper products but lower quality. LEGO was not ready for this, even though I believe it's such easier to foresee, right? LEGO management decided to work it through by expanding its range of products, but this venture was not very successful. Yes, diversity is certainly important, and you can introduce 5 new sets a year to the market instead of just 1, but you cannot expect the same consumer to buy all of them. Seeing all this but not fully understanding what is happening, the company's management in 3rd generation now invested in new areas. The LEGO.com website is launched in 1996, and the company began to develop video games, build new Legolands, open branded stores, so did everything to keep customers' attention. All these actions failed in the long term, and here's another mistake we should learn about. Also, in the mid-90s, another fatal blunder was made. The company laid off to retirement most of the designers from the 70s. They were replaced by innovators, young and ambitious graduates of the best European design colleges, full of revolutionary ideas, but they didn't understand a damn thing about either toy development or LEGO. The thing is, the new team was given a task to produce more, and so they did. And later analysis discovered that the cost of producing just 1 piece in several sets exceeded the retail price of the whole set. 90% of the parts developed by new designers were used only once, whereas the cost of 1 such casting mold could reach 50,000 euros. It turned out that the innovators who replaced the former LEGO designers didn't think about economy and efficiency. In 10 years, the number of LEGO parts produced has increased from 6,000 to 12,000, significantly increasing production, logistics, and storage costs. But earlier in the 90s, when problems arose, management purchased licenses to popular movies, such as Star Wars and Harry Potter, and despite awful numbers in other product sales, licensing kept them afloat. As you probably noticed by now, the management wanted nothing else but results. And here's another huge mistake. In 2003, LEGO sales collapsed. At the end of the year, the company had a debt of $800 million. And this is only when the company's management finally admitted it needed help. Jørgen Vik Knudstorp, the analyst, joined the team. His task was to understand the reasons behind the company's failure. Knudstorp was horrified by his findings. It turned out that at the beginning of the 21st century, a huge company still didn't fully apply the reporting system. None of the management knew what exactly LEGO was making money on and what it was losing money on. No one analyzed the profitability of new sets, what was sold and brought in most of the profits, and what was not sold and brought losses. Sales and production analytics at LEGO in the early 2000s were completely non-existent. When Knudstorp presented the result of his analysis to the board of directors, he warned them that it would only get worse. Nobody listened to him. LEGO executives said that his calculations are silly, and the situation would improve by the end of the year. In reality, the situation turned out so bad that many employees feared that LEGO would not be there to see the next Christmas. When Vik Knudstorp finished his speech in the summer of 2003, he thought he would be fired. Instead, 6 months later, Ole Kirk Christensen, Ole's grandson, promoted Jørgen Knudstorp to CEO and begged him to save the company, which he did. and here's how. First of all, he abandoned non-core assets. The company closed its video game development studio and sold all Legoland theme parks. Knutstorp returned production under his control, 80% of which was outsourced at the time, and cut the range of manufactured parts by 2. In 10 years, the company's staff was down from 9,000 people to 4.5. Vic Knutstorp didn't just save the company, he turned it into one of the most influential brands in the world. Within a few years, LEGO's profits quadrupled. And you know what? The LEGO company is a private company that continues to be controlled and managed by the Christensen family, the founders of LEGO. Ole Christensen grandson and great-grandchildren are considered the owners and managers of the company for the 4th generation. The company has more than 4,000 stores in more than 140 countries and owns production facilities in Denmark, the Czech Republic, Hungary, Mexico, and China. This story didn't only teach me what mistakes we should avoid, but also impressed me. Ole Christensen, the founder of LEGO company, was a hard-working and somewhat stubborn man. He worked in the stable, in the field, and took care of sheep in his childhood. At the age of 14, Ole already became an apprentice carpenter, and at 20, he received a journeyman certificate. 4 years later, he skillfully used the money he earned, and on the 1st of February in 1916, he got himself a little factory for 10,000 Danish krone. Ole used to build buildings, produce furniture and other goods, and in 1935, he decided to devote his life to creating toys and concentrate only on this production. Remember, his wife died during the Great Depression, and to cheer up his sons, he made them toys. At that time, number of usual orders dropped, and he realized that toys would never be out of the market demand. So he worked with his sons and founded this incredible company that focuses on high quality and cares about its reputation. The main motto of Ole Kirk's workshop is Ole's expression: "Only the best is good enough." LEGO factory was burned down to the ground 3 times. The first fire was accidentally caused by children, and the second by a short circuit. Both times, Starbin Ole Kirk rebuilt it all over again, with the help of his family and staff. When it happened for the 3rd time, his son Godfrey decided to shut this part of production down. His brother didn't support this idea and left the company, yet it might have been a really wise decision because at that time, LEGO was already widely popular for its plastic bricks. An interesting fact is that LEGO brick was not invented by Ole nor his children, just like in the story of Amancio Ortega and Zara, which I strongly recommend to watch. Ole saw the opportunity in someone else's product. A British toy maker, Hilary Fisher Page, created self-locking building blocks in 1947, but couldn't see what Ole did. Together with his son Gottfried, he improved the brick design and came up with this iconic brick we all know today by heart. This story also taught me that we should always listen to every critique because it makes us and our product better. For instance, during a trip to England in 1954, a purchasing manager told Gottfried that he thought LEGO toys were interesting, but they lacked the idea and system, so customers don't want to buy other sets. After this conversation, Gottfried came up with the idea to combine the disparate elements and create the LEGO play system. This was a revolutionary move because from then, every set complemented one another and made the play even more interesting. If you enjoyed this video, I suggest you have a look at the WeWork story and Theranos, 2 people that have a lot to learn from, believe me. And let me know what you think of the LEGO story, its incredible founder. Maybe there is something we should know about? Keep up learning, guys. Success is just the number of attempts.